Welcome everyone to our regular Tuesday afternoon session where we talk about all things trekking in Nepal. And today what we're going to do is focus on some of the preparation and things that you need to think about before you come to Nepal, and talk maybe a little bit about the Ghorepani Poon Hill Trek as well. So some of the key things we're going to cover today are basically what to pack, which is a question that stumps a lot of people if they haven't been to Nepal before. And we do have a packing guide that if you are watching the replay, that if you would like that, just fill out the contact form on underneath the video that you can see, and we can send that to you. We will also talk about the, permits, accommodation, transportation, and things like that about whether it's easier to try and do it yourself or to use somebody like Dinesh and his crew. And then also just a little bit about how to can't get my words out today, how to stay safe at high altitudes, particularly from the altitude sickness. But before we jump into today's topic, I'll just take a moment to introduce myself, and then I'll ask Dinesh to introduce himself as well. I am a travel coach and I also do AI consulting. My name is Michelle Hill, and I first visited Nepal 9 years ago now and trekked to Everest Base Camp. I signed up to do this having no idea what I was actually getting myself in for, and thinking that I was giving myself this really hard physical challenge, which, trust me, it was. But also, I guess what I really underestimated was how much of a mental challenge it would be as well. And for me, it was a real growing time in terms of when I got to base camp and I looked around and I was like, you know what, if I can do that, I can probably do pretty much anything. Anyway, since then, that really kickstarted me on my personal growth journey and my path into coaching and consulting. So the lessons that I learned in that trip have really helped to shape who I've become today. So now I'm going to ask Dinesh, who is the owner of Nature Explore Trek and our resident expert, to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about where he comes from and what he's done.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Michelle, for giving this opportunity to tell a little bit about myself and introduce shortly about my countries and the topics what we're going to be talking now. Those who doesn't know my name, I'm Dinesh Karki, born and brought in the eastern part of Nepal, where the big Mount Everest were located, worth 8,848 meters, even a little higher now, as a new measurement. And I'm from exactly the same region, and I spent my whole childhood in that same region. But since 2003, I'm continuing staying in Kathmandu, and because of there were no high school, and for the good school, and in my early age, I came to Kathmandu, and at the same time, I started as a trekking porter since my early age in Fort. I think I was about 14, 15 years. But before I came to Kathmandu, I already used to do the porter job in the Everest region because it is very close from my hometown, as it's more accessible. Just wow, like 6, 7 hours walking from home, from my home to the Lukla, which is the gateway of Mount Everest Base Camp trekking reach. And I've been quite expert in my early years to doing as porter because of as my other brothers, my older brothers from same mothers, they also used to do as guide in mountains. So they also used to take me as porter. So since that time, 6 to 7 years, even more, I work as porter. And then in the meantime, I also help to cook, and I know a little bit cooking idea also, and then helping cleaning pot, of course. I would also like to add a little bit about the now modern trekking now, and then the trekking was like how was before the route. Nowadays, everywhere, all the trekkers can stay in tea houses and they can eat at tea houses. But let's say 15 years ago, there were not like many places as a tea house like now here. Nowadays, so that means most of the trekking were camping. That camping means you have to survive like survival all the foods tent and like this, you have to take. So we do like all type of work after spending like almost decades as we were like helping and learning period. Then finally I became a full guide with which is can take a group to the mountains, and also Nepal government give me the license that give me authority to I can handle the group in the mountains. Then almost 10 to 12 years I guided the group in the Nepal, all over the Nepal, including the popular places, Annapurna, Everest, Manasulu, Kanchenjunga, even the more mountains, and then climbing to the high peaks about over 6,000, 7,000. Then, and means one of my friends who were to work together since 2015. We are thinking to do our one business or one service because of from our field experience. We learned so much things, and then we saw so many different things in the market that we can change or we can do better than this. With the aiming totally different, with total different aiming. Me and my colleague, Mr. Bharat Casey, we decided to run our this nature explore trekking. Since 2015 to now, we're already around near 10 years. In this journey, we have enjoying, we're learning, we're a service or providing service for more than 1,000 people from all over the world. At the meantime, we also organizing small to big trips. Those big trips, sometimes some other companies in Nepal or any international company cannot organize like us, because that we are success because of we have a good experience as a guiding people. We're not establishing our company from table, because we learned first in the field and then we started to doing this job. That means we are more experienced in the field than sitting in office and chair with nice clothes. So that means we love the more field. So we are not only organize the trekking in Nepal, we also organize the big groups, pilgrim groups, religious groups, or any trekkers in adventure mountains in Tibet, in Bhutan, tour, India, Ladakh, or any others. Especially, we organize the big trips in Kailas, which is the west part of Tibet. Normally, the group will be over 50, 70, but we have the team who are very expertise can help in handle that trip. Not only myself, we are the team. And then, I'm also quite lucky and fortunate to visit and see other countries in this my journey to like a couple of times in Europe. And there also we did some trekking with my other friends and visit so many other places. So everything what I'm trying to say is we're very happy and enjoying, and we feel like we're just doing something good for the tourism sector in Nepal, and we want to share and serve more and more in our future as we enjoying and loving this and showing our nature. And then we feel like a success, and then we have a lot of supports and giving good feedback from our previous clients in TripAdvisor and Google reviews and anything. Can anyone wants to see or visit to Nepal, you can also check in us. So that's we are here anyway. We'll talk more in maybe next. That's I want to end now my introduction.
Thank you very much. And I think you're a true example of somebody who's been able to really, really do what you love and then create a business out of it. And then in that way, you've met people from all around the world, and you've helped create amazing experiences for these people when they come to Nepal. So well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, let's cover off a little bit about packing essentials. Would you like me to screen share and we'll have a quick look at the packing guide, or would you prefer just to talk through?
Let's share the screen. Maybe for other visitors also can hear what we talk about. Yeah.
All right. All right. So so that's our packing guide. So if anybody wants their own copy, just let us know. And I recognize the person in those photos. Okay, so we've
Yeah, I can
broken
see.
it down into footwear, clothing, equipment, first aid and health, and any personal hygiene and extras. So how about I'll just scroll down to footwear, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Dinesh, because I know what boots I like and what I wear, but I'll let you have a chat.
About, you mean about the boots?
Yes. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
so what sort of boots would people choose? And if you were doing a fairly and I'll use the term loosely, easier trek,
Yeah,
um
yeah.
versus something like Everest Base Camp or Annapurna Circuit, where it's more critical. What sort of boots would you choose, maybe if you were just doing Ghorepani versus
Mhm.
if you were doing something a little bit more technical and complex?
That's very important questions to share the experience. Yes, it depends the which trekking you are going. Like let's say, let's give this small and shortly example. If we
Mm-hmm.
do only short trekking, like a 4 or 5 days, and easy trekking trail in Nepal, for example, Ghorepani Poon Hill trekking or Langtang Valley trekking, or any trekking trails, that's you don't have to have like big boots. I mean, like the heavy boots. You can
Yeah.
still do it in your light boots, which can cover your ankles, and then you don't need to, like, they are fresh, new, and waterproof. Blah blah. They can be like use it or second hands or anything. But
Yeah.
still, I would like to recommend should be cover your ankles because of as the Nepal is more mountain and terrain, so we will be not walking in the flat. We will be up and downs through the stairs and up and downs through the streets and a lot of jumps in the strips. So that means it's better. Still, we need to have like our ankle cover boots. Walking
Yeah.
boots are very useful for your safety. No need to have like fresh, new, and like stable in the slippery because the short trekking is not required, and then not snowing and not ice on the trail. So,
Yeah.
but in some case, if we do the like other trekking like in Everest Base Camp, the Manaslu Circuit, or Annapurna Circuit, any 2 weeks trekking that you're going to cross the high passes, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're reaching to the over 5,000, to close to the glaciers, and that in your plan that you're walking into the glaciers. Then in this trekking, you need to have very good boots, which has to be stable gears in the print, and then they have to be waterproof also,
Yeah.
because sometimes you have to also walk through the snow into the snow. Also, you have to put your footprint, and then it has to be the stable, not slippery, as you're walking above the ice. And then also the trail could be the rocky. The age, for example, when you're trekking to the Everest Base Camp, the last day of reaching to the Everest Base Camp, from all the way from Gorokse, or even the earlier from Gorokse, you will walk through the stones, like rocky trails, a lot of rocks, up and downs, and then until through the base camp. So in this case, if in case you're stitching or any rocks come slowly down and like hitting your legs, if you have not good shoes, can be damage your legs. So when you have a good boots which can cover your ankles, including ankles and quality boots, you will have no problem. At least they will protect you before you feel heat. Okay, so for long trekking, you need a good boots quality, and which should be waterproof. It's better, and we have some recommended branded like Scorpio, Scarpa, Loa, or any maybe you yeah, in your hometown also you can buy. If you not possible, you can also buy in Tamil. Tamil is the market in
Yeah.
Nepal where you can get everything in the same shops.
Okay, cool. And then we've also mentioned here to have another pair of something lighter like sandals or sports shoes, or in my case, I had a pair of slippers that I bought at Namche Bazaar. Something to put on your feet at the end of the day so that you don't have your boots on so that your feet rest. And we've also got here about gaiters. I took gaiters with me both times, and I didn't use them at all, but then I guess it depends whether it's been raining or not.
Mhm. Yeah, this extra sandals or the shoes is very useful when you are going in the longer trekking.
Yeah,
You know, like let's say for 14, 15 days trekking, like around trekking, Annapurna round, Manaslu, Everest Base Camp, because these pairs will be useful when you reach at the camp and then change your boots into the small shoes. Because of when you're walking, it can be sweat or like you feel like warmer, your feel need to be fresh. Your feet
yeah,
need to be fresh. They want to also see the air.
yeah,
Stitching like covering all the time, they will not feel better. Also, of course, you also want to change at that time, and your foot will be keep warm in especially the higher section of the trek, because if in higher sections of trekking it will be colder in the morning and evening before sun rise or after sun goes down or back behind the mountains. So this sports suit type of sports suit is very useful for the
yeah,
longer trekking, but I don't recommend for short trekking. You know, in short trekking, you will not reach in a higher in the mountain sections, and then you will not going for many days. So still you can just have flip flops like extra sandals can be useful. But
yeah.
sometimes nowadays in modern trekking tea houses, they also give some sandals
Oh,
nowadays.
okay.
In the Ghorepani Poon Hill trekking, I can tell honestly, they can give some extra sandals and
Okay.
other trekking trails also, but not everywhere, okay, to be honest, just some part, like in more commercial and facilities places.
Yeah. Okay. What else have we got here? Well, there's a little bit more detail about the boots, so we won't go through that again. Now, what we've got here is we've listed out basically a stock standard, this is what you would need to consider bringing. We don't need to go through every single thing, but do you want to just highlight a few things that you consider? It wouldn't really matter what trek you're doing, that you
Mhm.
really should make sure that you have these things with you.
Thank you. Well, I'll just push in the middle.
Have I made the question too difficult? Now you've got to
No, no, no.
go
I just
through
because
them.
I want to go serially. That's why
Yeah,
number wise.
yeah,
Yes, the number one, we can see the down jackets. It is very important. Down jackets or Gore-Tex means it should be warmer anyway, no matter which brand it is. But most of the trekkers, they used to have down jacket. Especially this is useful for higher section of the trekking. And
yeah,
then morning and evening, when you go outside for the photograph or for toilet or for anything. But during the daytime, when you're walking through the trail, you won't wear down jacket as it is very warmer. You can wear and walk because you will feel a lot of sweat,
yeah,
especially in the higher section of trekking. Of course, not recommended in lower section. For the lower section, you will have your light jackets. So
yeah,
any of these brand, you can take it. And then we can see line light, wind, waterproof. That this is you're gonna use in the daytime when you're walking with your small day pack from any daytime after breakfast to the till the dinner to get your another place.
yeah,
And then you can also see another long flip-flops t-shirts. These are very useful, especially when you are walking without jackets in sunshine time. So it can be protect your long legs from the burn from sun. So
yeah,
because we say two, that means if one is male, you can change another one. So if it is short trekking, you don't need two, you just take one.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's we are saying. You can also read these things, and then we can also see pairs of lightweight trouser. This is very useful for your under because you can make like it is
mm,
highly recommended if you can make like a half pant from a light trouser. So it makes shorter and in beginning of the trekking as we start from lower part, and then same pants you can join and then make longer when you are in the higher part of trek. So this
yeah.
is very important.
I have a pair like that where you zip them off around about the knees.
Yeah, and then you
It's a
don't need to
very
carry anything.
attractive look.
That means if you have like the functional one, then you don't need to like, carry a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of information there. So any questions, just reach out to us.
Yeah, so this
And
this these
then
are good supports.
Yeah, then some of the other equipment that you really should consider bringing.
Yes, that we also, as we seeing in the picture, the sleeping bag is very important because of there will be bait into your house, but there is also extra blankets. They might not clean enough, as there many people already use it as all trekkers. So if you have your own sleeping bag, you can have it, and then on top of your sleeping bag, you can still use your blanket from the tea house if you need it. So sleeping bag, it depends which trekking you are going. For Everest Base Camp, you need -20 at least. For Ghorepani Poon Hill short trekking, 10 to -10 is even enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's I highly recommend to have sleeping bag. Should be enough. It depends which trekking you are going. For high trekking, -20. For normal trekking, just -10. That's And then you can also hire a rent or buy in Kathmandu if you're not available, if you don't buy already in your home. Or
Okay.
if you're going to Everest Base Camp, still you can get this from Namche Bazaar also along the way. You can rent
Okay.
their trekking shops. No problem for brand. You can pick any of. And in Tamil, in Kathmandu, here is like 100 of shops. They used to sell and rent. So you can pick any you're comfortable, any you
Okay.
like to have.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to highlight too, we've got down there one water bottle or one water bladder. So it's quite important to have a reusable water container so that you're not constantly buying bottles of water and then having to get rid of the plastic bottles. I know when I trekked to Everest Base Camp, most of the tea houses in the morning, you could get the boiled water and fill up. I used a camelback, so I would fill it up in the morning. Um, not with boiling water, obviously, but if it's been boiled, then it's pretty safe to drink.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, as you already said, so I have no questions for this. So it is very
yeah,
important. You can
yeah.
continue.
Yeah, well, I was just also going to mention too about walking poles. Some people don't use them at all. Some people use one. Other people use two. For me personally, up until I did Everest Base Camp, I had never used walking poles before. And I got some in Kathmandu before we left. And I was eternally grateful that I had them with me because I found them a really big help. Particularly just when you're trying to step up and down on rocks and you just need that extra stability. So we might leave the packing guide there for now. And for those of you who are curious, reach out to us and we will send you the document. So I'll just stop sharing now.
Yeah.
And then what I thought we would talk about now, Dinesh, is the things like, the permits and the accommodation and the transportation. Now it's like perfectly feasible that people could organize their own, but then you being a local and knowing everything and knowing what's needed for the different treks and all that, and being able to organize all of this for people, I personally think it would make the trip a lot easier, but perhaps you can just explain some of the processes, particularly about getting permits, because some of them, you've got to wait a couple of days and you've got to, um, which one is it? Is it the Tibet one where you have 2 or 3 days to wait to get it?
Yes, Tibet one that we applying for visa. So that takes time. But for Nepal trekking, you don't have to wait the 2 3 days. Even
Yeah,
if you have no time, you don't need to wait in Kathmandu. You can continue your trekking
right.
after you arrive for following days.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say for entrepreneur trekking. So we needed two types of permit. One from the conservations, Annapurna Conservation Area, another from the Trekking Association of Chan. So we can organize before you arrive here, according to your name details that you have to send your passport copy. And then if you don't have time, we can start continue your trekking next day. So it doesn't take times. But same case, if you're going to the Upper Mustang, Upper Dolpo, Manaslu, these are the restricted area of Nepal. So we have to have a special permit. So in this case, we need at least 1 day in Kathmandu because of we have to apply your permits with your physical passport. We cannot go without your physical passport, and it should be stamp details of your Nepal visa numbers. Accordingly, they will give. And for Everest region, we have to buy the Sagarmatha National Park permit that where we can buy on the way to Namche on our second day of trekking. And
Yeah.
then we also have to buy another permit called Village Municipality, Pasang Lamo Gaupalika in Nepali. So that they also provide us on the way. So we have to just need your passport copy, then we can buy it. And for similar for other trekking, Annapurna, as I already explained, for Langtang also same like Everest as it is lays in the national park area.
Yeah. Yeah.
It depends, if the trekking trail lies in the conservation area, we need to apply conservation permit. If the trekking trail lies in the national park, then we have to buy the national park permit. And
Yeah.
then if the trekking trail is into the restricted area of Nepal, then we have to have like a restricted permits, which takes one extra day in Kathmandu. And then if you are planning to go to the Tibet, other country from through the Nepal, then yes, you need at least 3 official days to have to
Yeah.
wait in Kathmandu until you get your visa on hand.
Right.
So Saturday and Sunday is closed. Monday to Friday is open. So you have to have consult very well about that. So in this case, we always suggest for any trekkers, travelers, please don't buy your plane or your tickets tightly. Please keep some few days gap because as
Yeah.
it is other countries' hand, so it also takes some time, longer time also.
Yeah.
So that we can it's beyond our control for visa things for other country, I mean. Okay, for
Yeah.
rest, no problem. And then if I'm come down to the transportations, as Michelle already explained, yes. So it depends which trekking you are going. If you are going to Everest Base Camp, yeah, pick up and drop. First things we will do that. Or if you are going by yourself, you can take the taxi from airport to your hotel. And then for Lukla, as your starting point of trekking, you have to buy your plane ticket if you are doing by yourself. And then you have to go to the airport. Of course, it takes time to fly to Lukla, but due to the bad weather and small airport conditions, it's very big challenge to get to on time to your flight because of we are facing such a bad experience even this year with the rain and flood. And if you
Yeah.
are doing like such things by your individuals, it's big challenge. Even those who are going through the agency like us or anything, it's very hard because of the weather. Unpredictable weather makes challenge. And then
Yeah.
Lukla, the transportation will be involved, flight and drive both. The driving is affected from the lower part of the Everest because of the road is washed by flood.
Yeah.
Now still they are improving, but not completely done yet. And
Yeah.
then if you do the Annapurna circuit, both you can also go by flight to Pokhara and then drive to trekking starting point, and then same
Yeah.
thing when you come back.
Yeah.
And then if you do the Annapurna circuit trekking, there will be not involved a flight. In the beginning, you will be driving any nearest town of trekking starting point like Besisar, Nadi, Dharapani, or any Chame, anything. And then at the end, if you don't want to walk or take a long drive, then you can still take a flight from Zamsam to Pokhara. So
Yeah.
that is the part. And yeah, it normally involves drive and flight.
Yeah. And with accommodation, like with the tea houses along the trek, like you don't book those ahead, do you? You just like each day you go to the next stop.
No, nowadays the things are changed
Oh,
because
okay.
we have to book an advance. Otherwise,
Right.
especially in the peak season, in the
Okay.
busy season. Let's say if we trekking in September, August, June, July, and then December, January, no need to book in the past. I mean in the early, right? But if we are trekking in mid-September, October, November, and another season, March, May, April, then we need
Yeah.
to have an advance because as it is the good season, many travelers used to come for trekking. That means we will not get our favorite place. We can get still accommodations. Well, you will not sleeping in the outside the house, but still you can get it, but you will not
Yeah.
get your favorite place. So
Yeah.
for this secure your seat or your place or your bed, you need to book in advance. And then Normally, the accommodation will be arranged twin sharing bedroom. That means in one room you will sleep two people as your individual beds, and
Yeah.
then higher, especially in a higher section of the trekking, like Annapurna Base Camp or Everest Base Camp, and sometime if they are busy, then you have to also adjust with 3 4 people also, but you will have
Yeah.
still your individual beds.
Yeah.
But also on bigger, like if you're going to Everest Base Camp trekking until the Dimbuche, you still can get the good rooms as the already built a very nice hotel. It's all depends on your budget, like let's say you want to stay in luxurious place with some warm blankets or heating blankets or warm shower in your room, like attached rooms.
That
It
sounds
is
like my sort of place.
it is possible, and then you can get it. So these types of hotels also already facilities in that area. And
Yeah.
also in the Pokhara or any nearest by Pokhara, there are also nice hotels where you can get nice rooms with attached toilet. And then even if you are going to the Annapurna circuit, you can still get some nice rooms with toilet attached in until halfway of the trekking.
Yeah.
And yeah, it depends which trekking you are doing. But if you're doing like a remote area of trekking where no houses, still you have to sleep in tent also because there is no proper hotels.
Yeah.
And then you have to also adjust with some families, local family, where you will sleep with family, not of the family attaching, but just part of the corner of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like all different and different experience. It all depends where you are going.
Yeah. And I guess from my perspective, to have all of that organized by somebody local who knows what they're doing, would save a lot of time and effort. But then there are still people who prefer to organize their own things as well. So, I mean, it does come down to a personal preference.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what we might we've still got a little bit of time left, and the other topic we wanted to cover was staying safe at high altitudes. So do you want to just give us some pointers around just general safety when you're trekking? And I guess most people are aware of the issues of altitude sickness, but there are other issues that you should be aware of to stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. This is very important also for all the individual trekkers. And when you're planning to come Nepal, yeah, let's say normally high altitude starts high acute mountain sickness, AMS in short. Normally, it starts after 2,500 meters. Let's say if you are going short trekking like 3 4 days, as we already mentioned beginning of this meeting, like Ghorepani Poon Hill, Langtang Valley, or any Tamang Heritage Trail, or any short treks, you don't have to worry for this. But same thing, if you are going to trekking to the Everest Base Camp, Annapurna Circuit, Manaslu, or any high adventure, high passes trekking, then you have to consider about high altitude things also. That's the reason why we used to tell all our clients or any customers that who are coming with us or anyone asks us, please prepare mentally and physically. Mentally and physically is very important at
Mm.
least 3 or 4 months from your trekking starting period, trekking starting date, because your physical is most important to hide the altitude. Let's say if you're like fit, like not like like fit, not heavy, you just no problem with breath, you have enough strength, no problem for you. But
Yeah.
you are like not well fit, of course you will be struggling after 2,500 meter with altitude.
Yeah.
Let's say if you in case receive the altitude, then what we do? No worries. There is always solutions. When you have a problem, there is opposite. There is solution also. So if you
Yeah.
are with expert team, but I cannot guarantee with everyone if you are with other any learners or any places. But if you are with expertise team like us, then we have solutions that from beginning of your trekking, please drink enough liquid, like including the water, warm waters, and then be aware about information about altitude and when you have symptoms, then please share with our team, a guide, a porter, or any of colleague that you're trekking together. And then please don't walk quickly in the ascending, especially in the ascending parts. Go very slow as you wish to move. and then every step of 14 minutes, 40 minutes, make a commercial break and enjoying with the view. Your mind has to be not distracted with all, you just feel with free with the nature,
Yeah.
and making
Yeah.
some nice video or picture will give you more energy and with positive feelings. And then you just go slowly, slowly, and then it is very important to make acclimatizations during your itinerary. Once you reach near 3,500, around 4,000, you have to make one extra acclimatization at least. Let's say
Yeah.
for Everest Base Camp, we make a acclimatization day in Namche, as we sold on same things. And if you
Yeah.
do Annapurna, we make another acclimatization in Manang, as it is the near 4,000-meter high mountains. And another things to avoid the altitude is also food and drinks and smoke. If you are smoky or used to smoke, please give up for that part, because of when you smoke, it can be problem with breath. And
Yeah.
another things, alcohol. Please don't drink alcohol when you're climbing up. But coming down, you can enjoy with your team, but especially until you reach your last destination of trekking. And then let's say even if you are protecting, but if you receive this, and then what? How do you know? In these curious things, you will receive some normal symptoms like vomiting, dizzy, not appetite, lose balance. Will say like a lot of things, and lack of oxygen, no energy. That means your early symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have such this kind of, and headaches, of course, when you have this kind of symptoms, you have to share with your team. And then the first medicines or first alternative option of high altitude prevent is descending at least 400 to 500 meters from where you
Yeah.
are. And then we also give some advice, and then also a lot of solutions. And then if anyone not getting better in even in these sections, we will also do the last evacuations to the nearest hospital to save your life. But if you are okay with coming down and resting, then we no need to do that. Just your life is most important than anything else. If you have your own life healthy, then you can return to that place. But
Mm.
same things I just want to mention. Let's say someone gets sick in 5,000 meter and return down to the 3,900 meter, resting like 3 4 days, but don't try to go again return up. Okay, so because
Yeah.
you're recovering, and then if you are hurt again to reach going up, if return the altitude back, it can very big dangerous. That means
Yeah.
in your lungs, the water can frozen.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so
Yeah.
that means because of when you have altitude headache, it can also come the coughing, fever, everything. When you have a like, like everyone knows that when you are like in reach near the high altitude place, in
Mm.
high place, your breath will be not like here, not similar like normal. Of course, we're
Okay.
struggling like because of with lack of the oxygen. In
Okay.
this case, we cannot breathe like properly. All our lungs will be froze because of from the cold, right? In this case, it will be gonna danger your life with pneumonia also. In this case, I don't recommend to return. You get back down, and then let's say someone, because it is experience from my side, some clients are forced to return, and then they have big problem, and then we do immediately rescue to save their life.
Yeah.
So don't return again back. Just rest, and then as much as come slowly down to your home,
Yeah.
any nearest hospital. But you must check in when you have altitude. It can be fit for your long term also. So that's the
Yeah.
reason. But it is not for everyone. Okay, some people even they are first time in Nepal. Nobody heard. Nobody have any altitude. In even when I was guiding any groups in mountain, even in Tibet, Kailas, Bhutan, India, or Nepal, Everest Base Camp, or Annapurna Base Camp, any others. But you should have your physically and mentally preparation is the most important, most demanding, and most things that
Mm.
you can make it without these things.
Yeah. One other thing that I thought I would bring up too around safety is that like if somebody chooses to go with a tour company, like with a guide and a porter like yourselves, then that means that you're not alone on the track. Whereas I have seen reports of some people who decided to go off and trek by themselves. And then, if something happens, if they slip or they fall, then I mean, there's really no way of knowing what's happened to them or getting help to them sometimes. So I guess, each to their own. Some people prefer to trek by themselves, but just keep in mind, just checking in and letting people know where you are going and what you're planning to do. So that if something does happen and you're late getting to your next check-in, then at least people know where to start looking for you as well.
Yeah.
So that's been a quite a long discussion today, but very
Yeah.
interesting. And I'm sure everybody got a lot out of that. So thank you so much, Dinesh. And thank you for everybody who's watching us. And as I mentioned earlier, underneath this video, there will be a contact, like a way to contact us. I forgot the word for a minute. Like a link. There'll be a link for you to contact us. And if you want the packaging guide, please let us know. If you have other questions or you would like to just have a one-on-one chat about what is the best trek for you and how we can best support you, then please use that form to request that, and we will organize a Zoom and have a chat to you. Because whilst Dinesh is in Kathmandu, I'm in Queensland in Australia, so on the other side of the world. Anyway, let's call it a day for that, and we will be back again Tuesday afternoon next week, or Tuesday morning Kathmandu time.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dinesh, and namaste.
Thank you, you too, and thank you for giving this opportunity to explain a little bit about my experience and knowledge about things.